My name is Andy Petrous. I work for Group Stahls. That's the whole big company itself. I work for Stahls ID Direct, Stahls Transfer Express, Imprintables Warehouse, Hotronics, Wildside West. There's probably more, I probably forgot. But so I'm not actually part of the Stahls TV group, but they did ask me to come down here because I work in the state of Pennsylvania and the state of New York. I am a strategic accounts manager. It's a nice fluffy word for sales rep. So what we're going to talk about today in our class is we are going to talk about how multi-million-dollar companies are using vinyl cutters to profit. It's not always going to be about what they do. It's just some ins and outs that these companies are doing, the way they change the marketplace to make it more user-friendly to use vinyl cutters. Does everybody in here have a vinyl cutter? Who has a vinyl cutter? Pretty much everybody. You guys in the back don't? Okay.
Getting into the business.
Absolutely. So, well, basically we'll run over real quickly what a vinyl cutter is and like kind of the process. Vinyl cutter is a plotter. It's an output device from your computer that actually cuts with the blade. It cuts through materials so that you can do heat applied graphics, vinyl stickers, signs, stuff like that. The process with a vinyl cutter is basically you have to come up with your design, which is vectored artwork. Most people that are creating vectored artwork are using programs like CorelDRAW or Illustrator or some second tier product like SignLab or something like that. Is anybody in here using CADWorks Live?
I do some.
Do some a little bit. CADWorks Live is the Stahls design program. This program is free for all of our Stahls customers. If you are registered with any of the branches of Stahls or you own a Hotronics heat press, you can register for CADWorks Live. It's free to you. And it's a powerful software. There's lots of clip arts in there, lots of letter, fonts, layouts, everything that you can use to create vector designs that you can send out to your cutter. Now, some people have said in the class earlier that I don't like CADWorks Live, it's too slow, it's too tedious, it's this, it's that. It really isn't. It just takes a little bit of getting used to. It's actually a more user-friendly version than, say, CorelDRAW or Illustrator. But two things that I want to tell you about CADWorks Live while we're talking about the design process. With the vinyl cutter, what a lot of people are doing is player names. If you go into CorelDRAW and you type in a list of player names, so you have Smith and Johnson and Kerplevich. Now you look at these names on your screen. Kerplevich is 28 inches long, but our jersey constraint is only 14 inches. If we were working, so you have to go back and you have to size all those down and everything like that. Then your customer says, well, the names need to be arched. I have to grab my envelope tool. I have to grab each name individually and envelope them and try and get the same arches out. And by the time I'm done with the design process, it's an hour and 10 minutes later. Now I'm ready to cut. If we were working in CADWorks Live, what I would do is I would open up the names program part, select the font that I want, the size of the letter, whether I want it arched or straight, and the constraints of my uniform, which is, say, 14 inches. And then I just start typing names. And when I'm done typing my names, Kerplevich is 14 inches long. Smith fits within that 14-inch range. All my names are arched. They're ready to go. I didn't have to do any of that work. It did it all for me. At that point, I can output it to my cutter and cut. So CADWorks Live for player names. If I was doing player names or name and number sets for any team out there, I would be using CADWorks Live. If I was creating artwork or designs or something like that, I personally would probably still be using CADWorks Live, but there are your other programs like CorelDRAW and Illustrator. A lot of times when you get artwork from your customer, it has to be in CorelDRAW. Another thing that CADWorks Live has that's really cool is it has a split front effect. So if you ever do baseball jerseys that have button-down jerseys or zipper front sweatshirt, you can create that design or that text, put it in CADWorks Live, and hit split front. And it will split right down the middle. You can change that split a little bit to the left, a little bit to the right. You can do a straight split like this Yorkshire Lions up here that goes right down for a zipper front. But if you have a baseball jersey, you want to do an overlap split front. It cuts right in the middle of that E. You want a full E for this side to go under the placket, half one for this side. It does it for you. You just select overlap split front, boom, cut, ready to go. In CorelDRAW, that would be 15 steps. To box it, trim it, separate it, redraw it, put it back together. So if you are using a vinyl cutter, I really highly suggest you guys log into CADWorks Live. If it's not going to be your go-to software, it should be for those two items right there. So that's kind of the design process. After the design process with cutting vinyl, we output it to our cutter. The cutter does the work from there. It cuts through the vinyl material, not through the carrier on the back. So when that comes out of the machine, we go to our third part, which is weeding. Weeding is actually pulling off the excess material When it cuts through the material, it cuts through and leaves your design there. The weeding part is actually pulling off the extra material, which leaves just our design on the sheet. And from that point, we do our heat printing under our Hottronics heat press. So that's kind of the design process, cutting, weeding, using a vinyl cutter. So what we're really here to talk about is what people are doing with their vinyl cutters to make lots of money. One of the largest companies that everybody here knows about is Nike. So Nike does a lot of weird, strange, small personalization, really cool stuff. And one of the things that they have is they have a website called NikeID.com. Have you guys ever seen NikeID.com? Well, NikeID.com, you can go on there and you can build a pair of tennis shoes from the front to the back. You can take the front of the shoe, you can color it pink, the back of the shoe red, you can make the Nike swoosh sewn on, you can have it a metallic print, you can choose the laces that you want in there and the color of the laces. The first pair of shoes that I went on there and made, did not buy, they look like clown shoes when I was done because I chose every single possible color I could. I changed everything about the shoe that I possibly could. You can even do the soles and change the color of the rubber soles on the bottom. As you do that, you'll see every time you make a change, the price on the top goes up a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more. Well, after you finish creating your shoe, the shoe visually turns to the back and it gives you a space and it says, would you like to personalize your shoe? And they give you 8 characters that you can put on the back of your shoe, depending on the shoe. Some of the shoes go this way, some this way, but they have an area to print. So to put 8 characters on the back of the shoe, you can put your name, LeBron James. And as you do that, they're just basically what they're doing is they're CAD cutting a product with a vinyl cutter, and they're taking it over to the heat press and they're heat printing on the back. When I added my name on the back of the shoe, my price went up $13. $13 for 3 cents worth of CAD cut material and 5 minutes worth of their work. So how can you use this in your shop? In your shop with your vinyl cutter, you can offer the same process to do personalization on the back of shoes. What Stahls has created to assist you in that is our Stahls Shoes Platen. This shoe platen connects right onto our Hottronics heat presses, and simply you can just slide your shoe onto there on both sides, and it allows you to press onto the back of the shoe. When you're done with that, you can actually take the shoe and put it on the side and press on to the side of your shoe. With our fashion film materials, allows us to go onto cotton shoes, nylon shoes, leather shoes. It doesn't really matter because we're not going to wash the actual garment. The fashion film material, as you can see, that 46 is what we printed on the side of that. The fashion film material comes in all of your solid colors. It also comes in your electric colors, which have the little bit of a sparkle to them, and the neon colors. So we kind of hit the gauntlet on everything. It's not listed to just basketball shoes, but you can also do, the girls' dance shoes or any kind of shoe that you can get on that platen under there. Nike ID also has another program where they have bags, and you can customize the bag from top to bottom. The color of the bag, the color of the straps, where the zippers are, the colors of the zippers. When you get done with that whole process, the bag turns and they have a little square rectangle that says personalization. You have like 2 inches worth of space to put in 8 characters of text. So you put in your name, $9. Now everybody that does CAD cut here knows a name this big out of fashion film does not cost $9. Basically, if we put a last name on the back of a shirt in full size, it costs what, $3 to $6, right? So it's another way to take an item, personalize it, give it more value, and actually get your stamp on it. So when somebody comes into your store and they want to buy baseball uniforms, we're jerseying them, pants, hats. Now let's get down to their cleats. We can take a little money off the top and get a little bit more money off of that job by personalizing the cleats. And bags, of course. Now, other ways that the vinyl cutters are profiting with these multi-million-dollar companies is basically the way the multi-million-dollar companies has changed the way we think about decorating. 15 years ago or so, there was a company that came onto the market called Under Armour. And Under Armour decided that they're not going to use cottons, they're going to use polyesters and nylons and stretchy stuff and stuff that wraps around your body and stuff that's hard to screen print, stuff that's hard to embroider, stuff that needs to stretch. So by looking at these products, as everybody followed suit, basically after Under Armour did this, Nike was coming out with this, Adidas coming out with this, and guess what? Stahls came out with this. This is a Stahls line of clothing. This is Stahls Mile Grid. We have training clothes in it, and we also have compression wear. So if we go to screen print some of these compression wear products, what we'll notice is that when you screen print them, the materials are slippery, so that they slide around on your pallets. If the inks are not produced properly, because if it's a nylon-based shirt and you're screen printing, you have to have a nylon-based ink. So you have to mix a new ink. You use the wrong screen mesh, you're getting bleeding on the outsides. If you go to embroider a shirt like this, you put that in your embroidery machine, that polyester stretches and bounces and bounces and bounces. You just get this distorted look. So the best way to get around it is CAD cut. And with a vinyl cutter and CAD cut, not only can you personalize each garment, you can get a product that is going to move with the garment. This is our Premium Plus material. As you can see, when it's on the garment, it stretches. So if I was wearing compression wear and I had to wrap around my body, it would not crack, it would not peel, it would stretch and it would go back to itself. Is anybody in here using the Premium Plus products? A little bit? A little bit. Yeah, you know, for performance wear, it's what we really suggest because it can go onto cottons, polyesters, it can go onto a polyester with a nylon blend in it, stuff with spandex in it. It's soft, it's kind of breathable, and extremely stretchy.
And nice thing about it, you can heat apply it at 280 degrees, so it doesn't give you that heat printing box. So it doesn't like melt the garments. That's one nice thing about the Premium Plus.
What kind of price point is that?
200. What was that?
What kind of price point for a roll?
5-yard roll, you're looking probably around like $35.
Yeah,
Pretty comparable.
Yes.
pretty comparable. A little less cost than a thermal film product, pretty much comparable with, say, fashion film or those products.
So does it work on nylon too?
It works on if the nylon has a blend of polyester in it. If you're looking for a product that is just a straight nylon, then I have one that is almost identical to the Premium Plus, which is called Super Film. And if I put the two of them on a garment next to each other, you wouldn't know the difference. Working with them, the Super Film has a little bit of different back on it. But the adhesives that bond them are different. So Super Film would be for 100% nylon. For anything that has polyester or a blend of cottons, polyesters, you can use it on straight cotton too. Premium Plus would work great.
But it will work on 100% cotton?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So we've seen that Nike has kind of come up with a couple of clever ideas to use vinyls and CAD cut materials to put their identity and personalization on items that you normally wouldn't think about personalizing. Under Armour has come into the marketplace and just changed the way everything works and kind of made everybody that does screen printing and embroidery think, I need to come in with a different avenue, and that would be basically heat printing. There are other companies out there that are using vinyl cutters and CAD cut materials to get different effects. The Varsity Spirit, they do a lot of cheerleading uniforms, cheerleading products. Well, cheerleaders have camps every year. When cheerleader camp comes out, the girls want to wear their t-shirts. They come in with their designs, and you want to print their designs onto their t-shirts. You show them a screen printed design on a t-shirt, they love it, it's fantastic, and then you show them a glitter flake design on a, where's our glitter flakes? You show them a glitter flake design, and then that's what they're going to go for. Now the upsell on a glitter flake compared to your regular screen printing is tremendous. This is a look that you can't really get with screen printing. If you wanted to screen print a glittery design, you would have to add the glitters to the screen printing, mix it, make sure that it's not all clumpy on one side and smooth on the other side. It gets expensive and it gets messy and it gets hard and you have to use different screen meshes. It's just a tough process. So by using a vinyl cutter, we can cut products like glitter flake, a hologram. Jody's wearing a hologram on her shirt. Another thing that they're doing again is glitter flake can go on shoes. This isn't glitter flake on the shoes, but we could cut glitter flake and decorate one of these shoes. So if you ever have cheerleaders come into your store and they're buying shoes, or they want to get shoes, or they have shoes that they want to come in, and then you ask them, you offer them this, make sure you offer them something very basic and very specific. Otherwise, they will keep you at the desk for about 3 hours going over what different designs they want on their shoes. Another thing that we're doing with vinyl cutters is you'll see, if you haven't already made your bow, we're making bows. Jenna's making bows. This is CAD cut glitter flake, where she's actually taking it, cutting it on a vinyl cutter to cut a design out of that. Then she's laying out the bow, heat pressing this on there, and then twisting it into a bow. Bows are hard to come by unless you're an actual cheerleading shop. So when the cheerleaders come in or the dance girls come in, this is one of the products that they need. And if they don't see it in your store, they're not thinking that they can get it from you, and they're going online. Jody's daughter is a cheerleader, and she's had to buy these bows, exactly the same for her, online for $22.
My daughter. Oh.
Yes.
Very
So
frustrating.
$22. We could probably produce this for about less than $3. And it looks the same, it has the barrette in the back of it. We can customize each one of them. If we wanted to, we could customize each one of them to have the girl's name on the end of the tab when it's in her hair. So that is a nice product that you can get into. $3-4 to make a bow, sell it off for $12-15, and you're half the cost of the cheerleading store that's online. And that's just some of the bows. She's found other bows that were upwards of $40 and more.
The bigger bows. Yeah, they're like $42 I found them. Because you can't go to Walmart and buy a bow like that.
No,
And
you
the
can't.
girls want the glitter, the bling, and you're just not going to find it. Unless you go online, and they are pricey. They're very pricey. And then you got shipping to add in with that.
Yep.
Where you can make them cheap.
I know, which I never,
Oh,
never
did you
had
see
that
Dennis?
click until we were
Oh,
over
you
there.
were
I
over
was
there?
like,
I could do that.
I'm doing this.
And
Right.
bow ties.
I know, I said to her, I was like, oh, the company we buy all our cheer bows from, boy, we could really undercut them
Yes,
and
you
get the
can.
job.
Exactly. And now you know how. Right, exactly. So,
And you already have the material now.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yep.
yep. So we looked at a couple different options of using our vinyl cutter to make a little bit of money outside of the box with bows and shoes, upselling from the screen printed shirt or the transfer shirt to the glitter flake shirt. There are other companies out there in the market that are making tons of money using this kind of stuff. Children's home decor. If you have kids and they want their names on stuff, or they have toy boxes with stuff on it, there's a place called Chasing Fireflies. And they offer out products like soft-sided toy boxes. This is an easy product to drop a name on. You drop a name onto a product like that. You can do customization onto products like this. This is my son's cape. He really is Super Cooper. My sister-in-law bought this for him online. When it showed up at our house, I laughed because I pulled it out of the box and I said, "This is cool and fashion film." I could tell right away that this was fashion film, and I'm sure she paid a lot of money for this. So it's not just the sports uniform or the t-shirt or the group of people. You have a vinyl cutter, so your options are one piece and up. Your options are specialty materials, specialty graphics, specialty items, personalization, 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 and those really, really hard to decorate stuff like the Under Armour materials. Now that we know what we can use our cutter for, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's really whatever you can think of. But when we're really thinking about a cutter, our bread and butter is doing names and numbers. So cutting names and numbers on the back of a CAD cut, that's really where we're going to make our money. We want to use the right products, because we have a lot of different products. If we're getting into heavyweight football jerseys, you might want to use a product like thermal film. If we're getting into the polyester performance shirt or the compression wears, we want to look at super film, we want to look at premium plus. There's not one product that's end all for everything. But with a vinyl cutter, your limits to what you can put it onto are pretty much endless. So are there any questions that I could answer for you? Yes.
My son's football team,
Yes.
which of course doesn't use me for anything. I don't know why. But anyways, they did the slides last year. And whoever did them, the numbers are falling off. So what do you use differently? And I don't know what material, it was some kind of heat transferred vinyl. But how do you prevent the names or the numbers or whatever from peeling off?
Off the
side of
shoes
those
was?
shoes?
It's probably the material they used, or it's probably the placement that they put it on it. I mean, if they're cleats and you look at a baseball
No, it was
cleat,
a pair of slides. It had
I don't know what a slide is.
it's like a sandal.
Oh, yes, okay.
So, the tab opened up, so
Sure.
you just put it on the side of the slide.
they might not have followed the correct application with the time, temperature, and pressure. So if they didn't do the correct time, maybe it was like 10 seconds, maybe they
Sure.
only went 3 seconds, that could cause it to fall off. Because I don't see them laundering their shoes.
Right, no,
So
and that's why it was like
I'm
really
gonna say it's
weird
probably a
when they
user
started
error.
peeling and falling off.
Well, I had a lady in.
Because I really am interested in the shoe thing, so.
Yeah. Well, there's a lady in here that she's wearing shoes similar to your shoes, and she decorated the top of her shoe right here, and she used sign vinyl.
Yes.
So she's a sticker on there, and it looked great.
Didn't realize
But I can get it off, but it looked really good. So it could have been a process like that. They could have put it on, the slide could have been coated. The slide could have been made plastic instead of a neoprene. Now, all these things can stop it from going on there. What we really recommend is that you look at like your nylon base, your polyester base, your leather base, or your canvas base shoes. Anything that has like plastic in it, a coating, that could all detour us from applying. And a lot of times you can put stuff on there and it'll go on there and it'll look great for a day or two. And then after that, that kid will go like this on his shoe and it'll come right off. So you just want to make sure that you're on, your regular normal shoe and you're using the right product. I highly recommend Fashion Film. Seems to work the best.
Did you get into the rip away?
I did not get into the rip away. So, I'm sorry. One of the other things that we've been talking about in this class is, besides the vinyl cutter, is using the vinyl for different processes. And one of the processes is rip away applique. Has anybody in here tried rip away applique? I knew you were going to say yes for some reason. You have two.
I'm wearing mine tomorrow.
Excellent. Rip away applique, if you're an embroiderers, if you have an embroidery machine, what we do is we take some of our CAD cut materials. Rather than cutting them on the vinyl cutter, what we do is we remove the carrier off the back of them. We hoop our garments, put it onto our embroidery machines, and create a sew file with a satin stitch. No placement stitch, no lay down stitch, just the simple finishing stitch. We can take that big square piece of material, lay it right on top of our hoop with a little bit of tack spray and hold it down, and then run the satin stitch to it. It will create the entire applique right through the middle of this chunk of material, and when it's done, you grab the corners and you rip off the material. This leaves this design that you have here. At this point, after you rip away the outside, you lay it in your heat press, and that bonds it permanently to the garment. This is a great way to do applique without actually lining up individual applique pieces. If you look at the jacket that Marty's got on here, this is 3M reflective material. We do a lot of the rip away appliques with thermal film, 3M reflective, and the glitter flake. If you bought a yard of reflective twill for, say, a fire department that wanted some jackets done, a yard of reflective twill costs about $75. A yard of 3M reflective CAD cut material costs about $13. So we can do that process with this, and when we're done, we look like we have an applique. We have that nice rich sewing on the outside of it, so we get that look that we're looking for. If we were to sew out thermal film has more of a shine to it. So if I was to do the rip away applique with thermal film, it would look like leather. It would look like a leather applique, even though it's thermal film. And then of course the glitter flake. Yeah, the glitter flake is huge because glitter twills are very expensive. They're very limited in colors. When you do cut the applique pieces out of a glitter twill, they're thin. They stretch and they bend and they're hard to get into place. We don't have to worry about any of that with the glitter flake. We can just drop it down there, sew it out, rip off the edges, heat press, and have our glitter flake design done. Yeah.
How are you pricing that out?
How am I pricing out the glitter flake design and applique?
Yeah.
Well, I guess we could price it out. Basically, we'd start with a stitch count.
Right.
So if we charge $1 per 1,000 stitches, that canine, I would just say it has 9,000 stitches, so that's $9. Our material cost in reflective for that jacket right there is probably about $3 to $4. We'll say $3 because we cut that square out. And then the cost of the jacket, and then the cost of your time. Yeah, I would ballpark it. I would just really kind of guesstimate that jacket right there. If the jacket was a $35 jacket, it would sell for $65.
Well, plus the reflective, and then you can upsell it with the reflective.
Yeah.
Another thing, it looks like
Well-
it's a two-color design, but it's really only one color, so you can charge.
But I'm gonna guess you have way more than 9,000 stitches on it.
Well, like I said, I was just throwing out there. Yeah, probably.
But I mean, if you did that on a t-shirt, for example, the one I'm gonna wear tomorrow has 30,000 stitches on it. Because I don't have it all glitter flaked, it has other things on it. So I personally can't see anybody wanting to buy a t-shirt, even though it looks really nice.
Right.
For $30 plus the t-shirt.
Well, but the nice part about it is that we can use the glitter flake just as a CAD cut material and just CAD cut a design and then offer them 2 price points.
Sure.
This is your CAD cut design and this is the cost it's going to be on a t-shirt, and hey look, I can sew it and I can put it on this high-end sweatshirt. This is $65, this is $19. And that way they have different options so they can see the added value between going from just a CAD cut to a CAD cut applique. Were there any other questions that we could answer? In this class, at the end of the class, what we're supposed to do is we're supposed to grab a t-shirt and heat press a vinyl number, a thermal film number or a glitter flake number. We generally haven't had time to do it in any of the classes so far. It's kind of funny because this class is more based around vinyl cutting rather than die cutting. So I've just kind of left it as an option. If anybody wants to test out one of our heat presses or our laser light system, we can press a t-shirt.
The laser light system is awesome.
Do you have one?
We have the dual air.
Oh, you have a dual air, okay.
Built in.
Oh,
So you love
it
it.
is like best machine you guys came out. It literally cut our time in like
In half.
a third.
A third.
Oh yeah, I did 60 t-shirts yesterday, front and backs, and it took me probably about an hour and 40 minutes.
Wow.
And I was done.
Wow.
Love the dual. I love it. I do.
I do. I love it.
Best thing they ever
Love
made.
that machine.
Back and forth. Back.
Do you have all the interchangeable platens for it too?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my wrap up right there. We just, I don't even know if we had our time or not.
We done.
So how does the laser light work?
So how does the laser light work? Thanks, Amy.
Not that.
This is the laser light system. It's pretty neat. The laser light system is standalone that works with any of your heat presses. It comes with a template, so you can actually line up your template on there, and if you see your template, it looks like a t-shirt. Has a t-shirt collar at the top. So that way we can line up our template on the front of our shirt, hang our shirt sleeve off, and then each laser is individual that it can turn, so it can do a straight line across, into a parallel line, diagonal line, and it can move up and down the garment. So if we had to place numbers here and then a name here, I could line up two of the lasers to match up with my top name, and then I can make another one right here that's going to match up where my number placement is, and our template has that all kind of marked out for us as where the laser placement should be on the shirt. So it's really nice. It works with any heat press. Like I said, it's standalone. It's got a nice weight to it, so if you got a nice stable table, it's going to stay where it is. If you don't have a stable table, then what we use is like a two-sided carpet tape, and that kind of holds it into place. Yes, we just came out with a new heat press stand too. I haven't even really seen it. I seen the demo version of it about 9 months ago. It's a scissor cart, correct? It's a scissor cart, so yeah, so you can actually adjust the height of your heat press, lower or higher. It's movable, so it's got caster wheels, so you can slide it into different places. Takes away from having to build your own table or your own heat press station. It becomes your own mobile heat press station.
Can you dress the press like you can on the table out there?
Yes, because it's all about the press that's on top of the machine. If you have an older press that doesn't have clearance on it, like the Fusions, this right here is our tabletop caddy. So that actually lifts the lower part of the heat press up, so you can dress your garments right around it.
Because that's been the best thing I ever bought.
The caddy.
Caddy.
Oh, I love the caddy. I wouldn't have a heat press without a caddy. I would not. No
Yep.
credibility.
Right. So, all right, so we know that Nike has chosen to do some creative new ideas. Under Armour has made us all kind of move into doing different types of applications with polyester performance wear, spandex, and Lycra. We know that the cheer companies and all the girls that like the bling material, there was a gentleman in one of the classes earlier who was wearing some blingy stuff too, so it's not just for the ladies anymore, guys. And we've seen how even companies that you would never think of personalization have brought vinyl cutting in so that they can make new items and create upsales and basically just improve their sales. So that's all I have for today. I hope it was enjoyable. Thank you very much.